Hello everybody, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 9 of Omnifactory. And you might be noticing, hey, there's some pillars there now. Those are different. Hey, what are those lights? These lights are actually the best thing ever created. They'll light up like a huge radius around them, and, they're super... Oh, apparently they can be broken in one hit too. They're super cheap. Super cheap. Highly recommend if you're using this pack. As you can see, all the torches in my entire place are completely gone. I don't need torches anymore because these things light up like a 20 by 20 area. Also, coming over here, you might notice, there's some decoration. There's some attempts, at least, at making this place look good. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know where I'm going to take this, but it's a start, and I kind of like these laboratory blocks a lot, so I might make use of them in certain cases. And down here, I've also done the same. I'm pretty set on the ground. The ground looks pretty decent. The walls, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about the netherrack. I kind of wish the dark oak wood was a little bit darker, but, it's where we're at right now. I'm not going to stress out about it today. Today, it's time to make some progress. Since the last video, these assemblers, the three that I've set off to completely use for one thing, these three resistors, capacitors, and transistors, have filled up entirely with polyethylene, which means I can quite literally, since we have everything for all of these, just kind of, throw the recipes in. So I'm going to do that really quickly, and then we can start making these circuits. I've actually decided to go ahead and craft these on demand, because they are actually, really fast recipes and they're really cheap. So let's just go ahead and throw one of the... Hello? There it is. Okay. Throw one of these in each of these, and we should be able to simply set up the recipes for these circuits, each tier, and we should be good to go. This one makes 4, actually. I just realized that. I thought it made 1 still, and it was just easier components. No, this one makes 4, which makes getting to these tier 4 circuits, or tier 3 circuits, so much cheaper. So let me set up these recipes, and I'll be back. So, if I go here and say, give me 10 of these, it'll say, hey, you don't have any gallium, I guess. And I don't have any... Hold on. What? Okay, it turns out I have made a huge mistake. I've been making these integrated circuits, which are only used to make these integrated circuit things, and they're only used in this singular recipe, which I don't do that recipe anymore because I'm trying to do this recipe, which uses RAM, and this recipe, which uses nothing apparently, and this recipe, which uses central processing units. So I'm making RAM here, and the RAM is getting cut over here. However, I don't have any central processing units, and I still haven't had a single thing complete, so this might take a minute. Okay, it's been a couple minutes. I've managed to get a couple of these central processing units, which are the ones that we need, and I added all the recipes for the circuits, as you can see. So let's go ahead and order, let's say, one of these, and it'll craft 4, and let's see how fast it goes. It looks like we're having a problem, and where's the problem? Not here. It went into this assembling machine, right? Right? That's where the recipe is. Hello? I figured out the problem. Apparently, I never allowed input from our... No, I did. It says I did. However, it wasn't allowing the input to go in for some reason. But now I should have my circuits, and let's see. Let's make sure. Yeah, I have 4 of them. Let's see if I can craft it again. So, make me 1, and... the machine turns on. I don't know why it wasn't working the first time, but now it's working, so let's not stress about it. And we have more circuits. Okay, wonderful. The one issue with this recipe is it uses gallium. Gallium is not infinite, and I don't think can be made infinitely. The only way to really, consistently get it is to either chemical bath this kind of stuff, or you can get the small piles from centrifuging any of these 4 dusts, which I haven't mined a whole lot of, believe it or not. However, that's an issue for another time. Let's check the other circuits and make sure they also work. So make me one of these, and it's crafting, and it's done. Okay, perfect. Now make me one of these. This is going to take... It's going to have to craft a little bit of refined circuit. It's going to have to craft a couple more refined processors. So this one's going to take a little bit longer. However, it should be significantly cheaper than the other circuit recipe we were using. And come on. Oh, there it is. Where is it? There it is. We have our first refined processor array. I probably should put one of these in my recipe, or at least each of one of these in my recipe, so I can get, yeah, okay. Let me grab those components and let's complete the quest. There we go, and for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much the most I'm gonna do in this early game tab. I am gonna make a multi-smelter eventually, and I am gonna make a distillation tower in this episode, but this is pretty much this complete. We can pretty much move into the mid-game now. And, ooh, we haven't really done much here now, have we? I guess we just finished the other game, so, yeah. It wants me to make 8 blast furnaces. Pretty sure I already have 8, so, you know. Okay, screw you, game. I was kind of tired of not having an automatable way to create the pumps, so I went ahead and finally mined up some tetrahedrite and stibnite and all those things, and got myself some soldering alloy. And it is being produced over here automatically. Whenever I put antimony into my system, I get soldering alloy. So that's sick. Using that soldering alloy, I made this assembler, which now has 64 buckets full. That should last an incredibly long time. I can now also auto-craft these pumps. So if I pull one of these bad boys out, say, hey, give me a pump, it'll be in crafting and it will have no problems. I've already tested it, trust me. And that didn't cancel the craft, good. So, now that we have that out of the way, just a little quality of life improvement, let's look at our pyrolysis oven. First things first, I want to create an HVCEF and put the pyrolysis oven that I have way up there onto an HV line. It has been a minute since we've been out here. I'm also not entirely sure that I've been outside in a couple episodes, so, you know, soak it in because we're going to be downstairs for a long time, unless we're working on this bad boy. So, what we have now is to replace this guy, and it's going to be changed out with an HVCEF, some of these 16X wires, and I'm going to use 2 HV energy input hatches, which means this guy is going to run at, what is it, EV? I think it's EV. So this guy should be dummy fast. Yeah, it's running at EV, 2048 EU per tick. So I'm going to break that and void all the fluid in it, and then we can try again and see how fast this guy goes. No? Hello? I realized the problem. I destroyed his fluid input hatch because I am stupid. It needs steam to function. So now, if I destroy this side, it should form, and then we should be able to run this thing at EV, and it should produce wood tar at a disgusting rate. Yeah, look at that. Oh man, that's so fast. It uses so much energy, but it'll keep up so well that, like, I don't even have to worry about it. So, I want to set up a couple more of these, because I want to set up a distillation tower to make me, well, initially I wanted one to use wood vinegar to turn into all of these very cool things, and I would need to set up a second one because phenol can only be made, or at least in my system, from the wood tar stuff. However, I think I might set up 3 actually. So, if we have a pyrolysis oven creating charcoal byproducts, and it makes them very quickly, we can have a distillation tower, or sorry, I'm going to set up 2 right now. I can have a distillation tower separating these charcoal byproducts into wood tar, wood vinegar, and wood gas. All 3 of these are super good for other things. The thing that I want to do now is the wood vinegar, which will get me all of these things. Most importantly, acetic acid, acetone, and I think methyl acetate will come very soon into importance. The ethanol is also important. I can basically rip my other ethanol production if I can get this thing to work properly. And what else? I think that's pretty much it for now. So let's grab everything we need for another pyrolysis oven, and I might as well put all the crafting recipes in so I can just request basically an entire pyrolysis oven and not have to stress about it. So yeah, let's do that. So I went ahead and turned on this Ordic substitution mode. However, it turns out the IMI system is not smart enough to craft the other components. So like, if there are electronic processors in here and I say want an advanced cluster mill, it's not smart enough to know that, hey, these are substitutable. Let's craft these since I have a recipe for these. So instead I have to go through and change the recipes for all of my machines. It's gonna take a minute, however, I'll do it and we will live. What I could be doing is setting these circuits to craft all the time. However, I don't think that's very feasible at my current point in the game because they still take a ton of components to craft properly. And that goes there. I don't want to use crafting cards like I've said before, and I don't think I have enough resources even to continuously craft, say, 64 of these refined processor arrays. It's just, they're too expensive for me to do like that. And this is tier 3? Tier 3. There we go. Perfect. And that should be the last thing. I just have to throw them back in here, and we should be good to go. Okay, I think all the recipes are in, and we should be able to craft one distillation tower. Pretty simple. Let's do it. And just like that, we have a distillation tower and a bunch of clean stainless steel casing. This should be enough for at least one of the distillation towers. I'm also going to need a fluid output hatches, and I can craft those right here. I'm going to need 3 of them for the charcoal byproducts. The charcoal byproducts used in the distillation tower makes 3 of these, and then I'm also going to need an item output. Did I not make that? Nope, I did. They're just not called item outputs. They're called output hatches. So or output buses, and then these are output hatches. Okay, let me craft these up and we can make our distillation tower. So, here we go. I'm just getting started, and I forgot to get my HV energy input. It is crafted. I just never grabbed it out of the system. I have 3 quantum tanks being crafted up right now, just these basic ones, because, I don't really need anything crazy right now, and I'm going to have 3 output hatches, so I need those 3 tanks. And let's see, is he, solid? I don't know if he's solid. Let's see, will this form? No. Oh, it has to be at least 3 high, doesn't it? Hold on. He is not forming with a hollow center, so I'm assuming it's fully closed in. No. Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. I never put the input hatches in. Hold on. And moment of truth. Nope, I think he is hollow. I am just stupid, and he forms, right? No. Okay, let me figure this out. Just following the structure, I figured it out. This bad boy, the fluid input hatch, has to go on the bottom for some reason. But now the question is, can I move this over here so I don't have to put input energy? Weird. Okay, good. So we're gonna have to shove fluid in from the bottom. That's okay. I can just pump it quite literally from here over to here, and we should be fine. So let me see if those quantum tanks are finished up. It looks like they are, which is perfect, and I guess I have an extra that I made earlier, so that's pretty cool. Let's not stress about it, though. So, that's not how that goes. Quantum tank just like that, and these will output directly because of the dot side. I'm going to need an output bus, so I might make a quantum chest, or maybe I'll just use a drawer. I think a drawer with a void upgrade will work just fine, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not super concerned with small piles of charcoal dust. So yeah. Let's go ahead over here and change this. This thing needs to be on 4. Right now it's on 3. So let's open it up, turn it to 4, and place it right back in. So if I destroy this and put that there, and then it begins creating charcoal byproducts. So let's destroy that tank for the time being, and I'm going to move my fluid output to the... I'm probably going to do like bottom over here. No, that's energy input. Can I do it? No, I can't. Probably just middle back. That'll be fine for now, and it'll allow me to more easily pump directly out of this into this. Actually, since as far as I can tell, this pyrolysis oven can work with any combination of any of its structures, I went ahead and moved the energy input hatch to right here, and the fluid output is on the bottom layer right there, which means I can just literally grab some ender fluid conduits and run them underneath directly into the machine. Now I'm gonna have to find where that is. Did I get it first try? Oh man, I'm a genius. Perfect, so let's just extract there. Insert there, and this should be getting charcoal byproducts. Let's see if it's running. And it is running. Are we getting things in here? Not yet, because it's not running fast enough. Let's consider changing this, actually. I want this thing to run at EV, and I want the other thing to run at HV. Since this thing is so fast already, it doesn't need to run at EV. This thing, however, is slightly slower, and now it should be significantly faster. So we're getting wood tar, we're getting wood vinegar, and we're getting wood gas fairly quickly. And I've got these guys, but these are being voided anyways, so let's not even think about them. I'm not even going to storage bus it. However, I do need to storage bus these guys. Do I? Actually, I don't think so. I think I'm going to pull directly out of these into more distillation towers. And here we are, more distillation towers. I'm making 3, 1 for each of these, just like I said, and I actually let this guy run at HV because he was kind of sucking my energy quite a bit, so I'm going to allow him to not run too fast. And these guys I think are fairly quick actually, so we don't need to, 16 seconds at MV, we're running at HV, it should be fine. It should be at least 2 times faster, I think, I don't know. So fluid input hatches go on the bottom. They're very weird, but I guess that's just where they have to go. Fluid output hatches need to go all the way up here. So one of these is going to have 4, one is going to have 5, one is going to have 6 outputs. And I think I'm going to allow these to go like in increasing height order. So we're going to have 4 here, 5 here, and 6 on the other one. I think that'll look pretty cool. So let me get those fixed up and built up, and I'll be right back. Just a quick disclaimer, even if there's not an item output, I believe we need item outputs on all of these, which is actually fine. So I'm going to have a little baby distillery, a slightly larger distillery, a big boy distillery, and the biggest boy distillery. I know these aren't the biggest distilleries that you can make. There's some that do like 20 outputs or something crazy like that, so eventually I'm sure we'll have a couple of those, but for now, this is as big boy as they get for us. And, ooh, that does not need to be there. I would have been confused for years if I didn't catch that right then and there. Oh wait, these are my output buses. Did I put fluid outputs on the bottom? I did. Oops, my bad. Let me finish building these up now, and I will hope and pray that they form, and then secondly, we'll start producing stuff with them. Okay, this looks, more stupid than I expected it to. But that's fine. You know, we're all about efficiency here. No need to make things look good. Well, I guess I am trying pretty hard to make things look good down here. But, up here, we're never gonna see this. We're never gonna go to the surface. What are you talking about? So, very cool. I don't need to set these up, configure these at all, but I do need a bunch more of these quantum tanks. However, before I do that, let's get these producing by shoving things inside of them from underneath. Alright, we're all set up here, and with the press of a couple of buttons, we should see all of these bad boys turn right on. Yup, and they are producing. Actually, it looks like they're fairly slow. However, these are completely passive, and like I say with most passive things, it's okay if they're slow. They'll run for approximately forever. However, I do want to see the first outputs of these. So we have some acetic acid, water, ethanol, methanol, acetone, and methyl acetate, and probably some duplicates over here. However, you know, we're not stressing about this stuff. The one thing I do want to do is grab a fluid trash can for the water, just because I don't want to keep that. Why would I want to keep water? Water is completely infinite. And can I just make one of these? Oh, perfect, I can. And then I can just shove it right in front of the thing. Right here. And bye-bye. No more water for me. Okay, the rest of them are going to need quantum tanks, which take 8 tier 2 circuits per, so they're a little expensive. I don't know if I'm gonna make those right now. Let's take a look at the damage, actually. I need 15 of them. It uses more bytes. However, I can craft it. It needs 120 refined processors. Okay. Oh my god. That's a big craft. And it uses 210 of these plastic circuit boards. Okay. Let's go ahead and upgrade our CPUs. I'm going to make them, I think, I haven't had any crafting recipes that are super big, so let's just add a second 4K on them. Okay, bye-bye, and bye-bye. Wait, no, I want this one to go bye-bye. I really hope I didn't have anything crafting, because that would be real unfortunate, because it was definitely just canceled. I don't think I did, though. So, now that we have 8K crafting storage, let's look at those quantum tanks again. It should be able to be done. It might take a year and a half. These processors are a little slow, to put it lightly. Actually, before I start this, let's take a look at where we're making processors. It's not here, it's up here, right? Yes, it is. So I moved the third tier ones over to this guy because it's using soldering ally 1, but also I wanted to spread out my recipes a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is actually put the refined circuits in here too. So I'll get all the initial crafting done first in this guy, and then while that initial crafting is happening, it'll also get shoved, or as the first tier is being produced, the second tier will be being created in here, and then after the first tier finishes and all the second tier is done, it'll get shoved back in here and produce the third tier. That should be slightly more efficient. In general, I only need the second tiers for this, so let's not really worry about it too much. And I just remembered I only need 14 because I have one in my inventory already. That actually cut down the amount of crafts needed to be done a little bit, so let's go ahead and start it. This is going to take a while. One other thing, I noticed that my sulfur production was doing pretty well, and I actually maxed out my sulfur storage in here, so I was just voiding sulfur. I have 65,000 pieces of sulfur. If that doesn't last to the end of the pack, there's something wrong. This pack is insane if that doesn't last to the end of the pack. I might have to turn it back on eventually because, you know, this pack is slightly insane. You need a dumb amount of things to finish it. However, for now, let's produce blaze rods. So I was a little bit curious whether or not the distillation tower could be spray painted. These guys cannot. This guy can. I don't want him to be like that. I'm gonna break you really fast, and I'm gonna do a bad thing really quickly. Oop, I can't do that when I'm not in cheat mode. I do have cheats enabled just in case something goes wrong, and in this case I'm gonna classify this as something going wrong. So I'm gonna give myself a new distillation tower and use that instead. And cheat mode is off. Good. I won't be cheating again unless, you know, I accidentally spray paint the wrong thing. Alright, here we go, the last 5 fluid storage buses, and I just need to partition these guys for what they're making, and I'll be ready to go. Let me finish this really quickly, and let me show you something actually kind of cool. Over here on our fluid storage system, you know, we had a couple fluids earlier. I think I was in it earlier in the episode. Now we have all of these, and I have a lot of benzene. A fair amount of toluene, a lot of things, a ton of creosote oil. I'm actually going to use this creosote oil to make something very fun. It can be distilled in the distillery to make lubricant. Lubricant can simply just be used to make the cutting machines run faster because they're incredibly slow. It actually makes them very fast if you do it this way, but I'm not going to do that right now. The other thing that I have going on right now is I am crafting up some reinforced upgrade kits. So let's check those out. I have 6 of them, and let's see what they're going to do to our dynamos. Because if you look here, we're consuming passively around 3,000 RF a tick now, which is, it's a couple RFs, and now we can produce 7,500. However, I have 2 more augmentation slots. So I'm actually going to be a bad boy and pull 2 augments out of this one, and let's find out the maximum that it can produce. 12,500 RF per tick. That's a lot. That's over doubling our power generation comfortably. I am going to need to make more auxiliary upgrades. If you can hear the dog barking in the background, I'm sorry. He might be really annoying. But I should be able to craft, I don't know, 20 of these. I can, and it'll just take a little bit of time. I have the sterling silver available because I have been auto-crafting it ever since, I don't know, a couple episodes ago, I think. I wanted to keep 100 of it in stock per thing. I don't remember which one it is, honestly. I can't show you. I want to keep 100 in stock at all times just so I can make the things like the auxiliary reception coils and all that kind of stuff. And finally, the reinforced upgrade kits are done. These things take gears, and the way that I'm making gears takes, approximately 1 billion years. At MV, it takes like 30 seconds or something like that. Not the coolest thing. I can't wait to get that thing to HV. However, it requires Canthal wires, which is just not something I'm going to deal with right now. So let's use some of these guys and upgrade all of our dynamos to produce a dumb amount of power. And they produce a lot initially, and then they'll calm back down. But wow, that's crazy. I think I have 10 more of these auxiliary transmission coils being crafted up. Is that enough? So I have 2 here, and I need 4. So I need 4 more. Let me order those real quick. Okay, I set up a second pyrolyzed oven to specifically make just wood tar, because I'm still using wood tar to make phenol, and I think I decided to, or not I think, I know because I decided it, I decided to continue making phenol the way that I was, because this thing makes phenol fairly slowly, and I don't want to rely on this and potentially have these things like fill up and then not produce any phenol, because I don't know. I need a lot of phenol is what I'm saying basically, and I don't trust that this will be enough. The other thing, I'm going to begin once again, like I started with, but I kind of changed. I'm going to run this guy at EV because this is running too slowly to keep up with this one, and this one is also running too slowly. So I'm going to run this guy at EV as well. So we should be burning through our fuels a lot faster. And let's see, this thing runs very, very fast, and these, yeah, you see the wood vinegars backing up, the other 2 are completely empty. So this guy should run faster. And it's not getting enough energy, which means I'm not supplying enough energy, which means it's probably time to upgrade my conduits. However, that's going to be a problem for another day. Right now, I'm just going to take advantage of the way conduits work and connect more of them to this thing. And this guy should begin running. Yep. It's perfectly fine. So, yeah, if you didn't know, conduits are point-to-point. They used to not be. However, because it's more efficient, like server or like lag-wise, they are point-to-point. So each of these connections right here can output around 8,000 RF per tick, and each of the other connections can intake 8,000 RF per tick. So that's why I can connect 3, and this thing is essentially maxing out at, what is it, 25,000 RF per tick, with the with a little extra like decimal points in these guys. So yeah, I think that's going to be everything for today, guys. I don't really have any time to record, and I know it might once again seem like we didn't get much done. However, we actually did, and I did a ton off camera for this episode because I needed to set a lot of stuff up. In between now and the next video, I'll probably try and decorate a little bit more, just so everything can look a little bit nicer, and I'll try and maybe expand this down a little bit further because we're already starting to fill it up. Yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you had a fantastic day, or I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.